Counterfeit Yamato Takeru. Japan's legendary superhero myth. Episode 2, The Man Who Tried to Grasp the Rainbow. Hiding his sorrow in his heart, Yamato Takeru set off for his next destination. His father's orders continued. His destination was Izumo. He was to defeat Izumo Takeru, the leader of a powerful clan. Having lost his love, his heart was heavy. But he could not abandon his mission. If he disobeyed his father's orders, he would lose all meaning in life. Yamato Takeru had no other choice. Entering Izumo. The Hiei River flows through a Izumo vast plain. On the banks of the river, where it eventually flows into Lake Shiinji, he meets a mysterious man. The man puts his precious sword on the shore and dips into the river. He schemes the surface of the water with his hands, as if playing with it. He then throws the water high into the sky, trying to catch the falling droplets. He repeats this over and over again. He's not even trying to catch a fish. You might think he's crazy, but that's not the case. His body is strong, and his gaze is serious. But his eyes are clear, and deep within them lies a joyous smile. Suspicious, Takeru asks. What are you doing? The man stopped what he was doing and turned around. Then he smiled and quietly said, I'm capturing the sun. According to the man, if the shadow of the sun reflected on the water's surface were thrown into the air, the droplets would dance away, and countless colors would fly around in them. Light, water, and wind are all originally colorless and transparent. However, it is at the moment when these three intersect that colors appear for the first time. Hearing the slightly excited tone of the voice, Takeru thought, he's a madman, after all. As he watched in a state of shock, the man suddenly scooped up water from the river and splashed the cold water in Takeru's face. Angered by the sudden rudeness, Takeru reflexively scooped up more water and splashed it back at the man. At that moment, the splashing water caught the light and sparkled in the air. The drop sparkled, and countless colors were scattered all around the man. Takeru once again scooped up water with both hands, and this time scattered it into the sky. The flying droplets broke into the air, once again taking on a brilliant light and color, coloring the air. Countless hues. After that, Takeru continued to sprinkle water again and again, making the sky bloom with color. Flowers of light blooming in the sky. Seeing this, the man smiled proudly. As if speaking of his own sense of justice, he said, Did you see? Your face, which was once gray, is now shining with light. Before he knew it, Takeru, too, was smiling faintly. It was an early summer day. It was still chilly, and the wind was cold. Yamato Takeru and the man were frantically throwing water at each other. Two adults. They didn't even know each other's names. And yet they were laughing innocently like children. And simply enjoying this moment with all their heart. Takeru thought. How long had it been? He hadn't laughed since he was a child. That's right. His days in the Kumaso. The time he spent with Kawakami Takeru. It was in those days that he found laughter he had long forgotten. A happy life was there. That's why he loved it so much. What he never ceased to desire. It was life in the Kumaso. And now, he was sharing a similar radiance with a man before him, whose name he didn't even know. Suddenly, Takeru stopped what he was doing and spoke. I have seen the true nature of rainbows. A rainbow that appears in the sky after the rain. He chased it countless times, riding his fast horse. But he was unable to reach it. I understand now. A rainbow is an illusion born when this drop of water intersects with sunlight. It paints countless colors in the sky, swaying like a dream. No matter how much you chase it, you'll never catch up. No matter how much you try to grab it, you'll never be able to. It's a dream drop. It was a foolish act, trying to grasp the fleeting bubbles visible within the drop. When Takeru spoke, the man laughed. What a strange thing to say. You're a really interesting guy. Hearing his hearty laughter, Takeru couldn't help but blurt out what he was thinking in his heart. You're just as eccentric as me. And he laughed along with the man. As the sun sets, a fire lights up by the river. The two share a little sake and eat grilled river fish. Where are you from? The man asks. Takeru hesitates slightly, then answers. I'm from Yamato, and my name is. After a brief pause, he says. Takeru. I see, the man says, and stops talking. The sound of the river rushing. The chirps of river frogs and insects. The silence of night envelopes the two. As they added firewood to the bonfire, the flames blazed, illuminating their faces. The man's face, reflected in the light, looked completely different from how it had looked in the daytime. Eventually, the man spoke. He spoke slowly, but profoundly. West of here, in the Kumaso region, there was a man with the same name, Takeru. He was praised for being a man of great character, but I hear that just recently he was killed by a man from Yamato. The air became tense. There was a sword beside them. It was slightly closer to Takeru, within reach. Takeru prayed that the light from the bonfire wouldn't shine on it, lest the sweat from his forehead drip down his chin. The man stared at Takeru, and Takeru didn't look away. Their gazes intertwined. The sound of the stream and the chirping of insects all disappeared, and the only thing left in the world was the bonfire. At that moment, the man spoke. I need to pee. Takeru was stunned. The man then chuckled lightly and turned away. He walked to the river and began to pee. Looking up at his large back, Takeru reached for his sword. The moment he gripped it, he realized. It was so light. It wasn't a sword. It was just a wooden sword. A wooden imitation sword. As dawn began to break. As the morning mist drifted, Takeru prepared to leave. The man asked. Why don't you stay here? Takeru shook his head. I accomplished one of my missions. But I failed to accomplish the other. I must report that. The morning sun shone. Illuminated by the sunlight, the world regained its color. Takeru said. I like the morning glow the most. First of all, it's purple, with the shape of the mountains floating in it. The man replied with a smile. What are you talking about? That's not purple. It's mauve. The two exchanged words, then smiled at each other once. Then, without even asking the man's name, they parted ways. Takeru looked back once. The man was waving his hand. Enveloped in mist, his figure soon became hazy. With the morning sun at his back, his shadow shimmered in rainbow colors. Eventually, he quietly disappeared into the distance. To be continued.